All right, we're doing this. So, welcome to the Board Certified Gaming Podcast. That's right. We have a podcast now. We're giving this a shot.
You have a podcast.
I have a podcast.
I'm just here.
Amar is here, but
Hello.
we're doing stuff. So, it's Andy, obviously, and then Amar is here.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hi.
Say hello again.
Hello.
So we're gonna be, putting these out every couple, every so often, just so we can talk to people and talk to the world about what's coming out in video games and what's,
And
what's
how
on our
I've
mind.
lived at this apartment for 3 years and just realized I have a ceiling titty.
There you go.
Nice.
Ceiling titties. They're nice. Yeah,
I have that mini one.
I've known you've had one forever.
I didn't know I had one in my kitchen though.
Yeah, you got two. You got a full set.
Well, one's bigger than the other.
I mean, that's most,
They're uneven ceiling
that's
titties.
most boobs. But okay.
Mine are pretty.
One is a little bit bigger than the other.
Mine
usually.
are pretty symmetrical for the
Yeah,
most
mine
part.
are just big, so that's all I am worried about. So, yeah, we're gonna have this podcast. We're gonna talk about things that are related to gaming, and just things we find interesting or stuff we can realistically talk about for a little bit. So the first thing we're gonna get into is some big news that happened. That was announced over the past couple of days. So Nintendo announced the Switch Lite. So it is
Or as I like to call it, the 3DS Pro.
the 3DS Pro. It is, or the Wii U 2019, basically. Like it's the same Switch.
It's the Wii U, but not the console, just the
but
gamepad.
more bougie, and it's the same Switch you've all come to know and love, but half the carbs.
Smaller. Yeah. You actually fucking went through with that joke. I
I
hate you
did.
so much.
I came up with that. So
All
I
right,
was
start
gonna make
over.
sure- I'm not going to start over. So the Switch Lite came out. I'm just going to run through a couple.
It didn't come out.
It's going to come out.
It's going it's
Right.
going to come.
I'm an
And
idiot.
so am I.
It is going to come out September 20th, and for the measly price.
Which, if I may add, September 20th is also the date that we're storming Area 51
There you go. Storm Area 51
with
September
your
20th.
Switch Lite.
They can't stop all of us.
They can't.
I mean, what are they realistically going to do with hundreds of thousands of people coming? I
With
mean,
Switch Lights.
we want answers.
That D-pad
We need the truth.
is sweet. It protects you from bullets.
So I'm going to run through some specs, and then we're going to talk about it, give our first impressions, give our thoughts about it, and then, see where it goes from there. So first of all, it's got non-detachable Joy-Cons. So it is a full, solid handheld system, meaning you cannot take the two Joy-Cons off and do anything. They're just attached.
Which really sucks for those people that enjoy dropping their Switch and watching the Joy-Cons fly.
Yes, or taking the Joy-Cons and just having fun with them.
In what way?
Playing 1-2 Switch or playing the other games that requires taking them off.
Yeah.
I also like losing them because it makes me feel human.
Hmm.
So, and then next, it's a 5.5-inch screen, which is down from a 6.2-inch screen. And basically, from what the visuals I've seen, is that it is basically a Joy-Con shorter. So take the one Joy-Con off, and that
border-
is the length of a Switch Lite.
I mean, I'm looking at it too. Is like the border also kind of looks a little more thin. Like, because I noticed that I was playing my Switch the other day because I was like, shit, I actually have a huge backlog and some of them are on that console. And I was like playing it handheld, because Michelle was watching TV. And I was like, oh shit, like this border is actually like obnoxiously thick.
Yeah.
I immediately docked it. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing.
So this one is,
Switch Lite has no TV connectivity, so you cannot throw it
there's
in
no
a dock.
output.
There's not even a kickstand, so you can't even just set it down and play it. Which, without detaching Joy-Cons, there's not really a need for a kickstand, but it does not have one at all. So
Well,
this is completely handheld, completely mobile.
Which is weird to me because you can connect other Joy-Cons to this too.
You can. That is
So if you don't have a kickstand, what do you?
yes,
You would have to buy a third-party peripheral to.
or you'd have to get like a binder or a book or a
It will-
something heavy and set it up next to it. That's what you're going to have to do. That's just, they are priming this as a wholly mobile console that you are having in your hands at all times. And
Also, don't forget no
Going
HD
around.
rumble,
no HD rumble. I'm getting to that. You're getting ahead of me.
no infrared motion camera,
There's a motion camera in the Switch.
supposedly.
Okay. Well, watch out. No infrared mobile camera.
Whatever the fuck that thing does. That's how little we know.
Yes.
We shouldn't even talk about this anymore. We
We aren't
didn't
experts
We
at
didn't
all.
even know this thing had a motion camera.
It's also going to be max 720p because it is just the handheld. You cannot connect it to a 1080p TV and have it do anything. You get 720p no matter what you're doing. According to the website, it says it works with most Switch games because there are only a couple where you need a Joy-Con to, like 1-2 switch, or other games like ARMS where you're actually using the Joy-Con for a motion other than using it for a
Those will still work
analog
though.
stick. They will, but it's really weird.
As long as it says that it supports handheld mode,
Yeah.
it'll work.
But you won't get the full experience that a Switch owner has had for the last 2 years.
So that's what throws me off too, is because of the fact that like you see on the back of the game cartridge and even on the eShop, it says here's the modes that it supports. It supports TV mode, tabletop mode, handheld mode.
Yeah.
What is the difference between tabletop and handheld?
So tabletop,
because tabletop is you're just literally putting the tablet on the table, and then the Joy-Cons are detached.
which just get a TV.
But you can also play tabletop. Like I've played tabletop before where I've had the Joy-Cons attached to the Switch, had the kickstand docked, but I'm using my Pro controller.
Yeah. I mean, tabletop I think is more for I have a Switch, you have a Switch, and these switches are connected and the games are going across both switches.
Which is like
which is
I think
a rare
Mario Party
occasion,
is the only game that
which
I
is
know
a
that
rare
actually does
occasion that it's never going to happen. At least in my life, it's never going to happen. But I mean, it's there in case you need it. Another change is there's now a D-pad. There are no more directional buttons on the left Joy-Con. It is a full D-pad, and they have said, Mr. Bowser, King Bowser of Nintendo of America, which is how awesome is that the CEO of Nintendo America, his last name is Bowser. It's amazing.
No relation.
No relation. No relation to the giant shelled man that you have come to know. There is going to be no D-pad on regular Joy-Cons. Joy-Cons are going to be made the same. They're going to look the same. It's just now this Switch Lite has a D-pad on it. Just for some reason. They're just trying to make the Game Boy Advance all over again, which I am all for, but we'll get to that later based on our, talk about our thoughts about it. This also was interesting to me because there's now going to be a new and better processor and battery. So on the Switch Lite, it said probably up to like 30% better battery depending on the game. In this Switch Lite, they packed a better battery in such a smaller device and a better processor to handle all the games you're playing. What are we supposed to do? Us, normal Switch owners. We've owned a Switch for the last, year or two.
You trade it in, you buy it.
Do we get to trade it in? Do we trade it in and buy it?
GameStop will have some kind of promotion where they'll buy it for like $5.
But I have a couple questions that I'd like to ask you and get both of our opinions on. I have some opinions. I want yours as well. But the last comment I have is that there is no Labo support.
Labo. I hate the way you pronounce things sometimes.
Cabo Wabo.
Labo.
I thought it was Labo. Labo sounds stupid.
Well, it's a lab.
Oh. So Labo. I just sound like
in
the dumbest.
In what universe did you think that it was pronounced?
Because Labo sounds like get some tacos and.
You sound like that dude that would pronounce it Mario.
Which I hate those people.
Well, you are now one of those people with a Nintendo.
It's
Labo.
Mario. That's what it is. Amar's.
This podcast is
very
over.
mad at me right now. I get that, but Labo. So no Labo support. So any of you cardboard fanatics that are making periscopes out of your cardboard, you're shit out of luck.
Have you tried that thing yet?
No, I am not a 9-year-old kid, so I'm not that interested in it. It would bore me like in a second.
I saw somebody.
Also, I have no patience to put together a cardboard piano.
I saw somebody took like the Nintendo Labo cardboard and made like a Plinko machine.
I don't care.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It's cool, but that would bore me.
I will play Plinko all day.
All day?
Is that what it's called? Plinko?
Plinko's the thing where you drop the disc and like it bounces on the thing.
Correct. Yep. Very popular in
Asia.
Asia.
And in The Price is Right.
I knew I liked that show for a reason.
That's why you like Price is Right for Plinko?
For Plinko.
The game they maybe play every
Plinko.
like 2 episodes? Okay.
Plinko's very big in Japan.
I bet it is. Pachinko is what it's called. In Japan.
Pachinko.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I had a pachinko machine.
But isn't it basically the same thing? Plinko and
Pachinko is you're shooting balls up and they're coming down. Plinko is you're dropping it from the top.
No,
same
I think you
principle,
were
different
switching
execution.
them around.
I had a pachinko machine. Pachinko would, you turn the knob and it would shoot a metal ball up.
I'm
Basically
very
like
frustrated
pinball, but it dropped.
I'm very frustrated that you had to use the word had.
I don't
Past
have one
tense.
anymore. Who just keeps a pachinko machine?
So
You, yeah,
I
I
would.
guess, yeah. If you had one, you'd keep it.
Pachinko.
But the Nintendo Switch Lite is going to be dropping September 20th for the measly price of $200. So, in theory, this is one of the cheapest ways to get your foot in the door as having a new gen console. $200. That's it. 200 bones.
I mean, it's
is-
essentially the successor to the 3DS if you think about it. Like when I first heard that this thing was announced, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, cool! This is for fucking kids."
Which is
Not to say that adults can't buy this
Yeah.
thing, but like, how many kids did you know that like their parents went out and bought them? You know, like young kids. I'm talking like ages like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
That went out and bought them like GameCube stuff like that. No, they were like, "Hey, it's cheaper for me to spend $150, $200 on a fucking Nintendo
3DS, yeah.
DS or something like that."
Yeah. And that's
Like I had a Game Boy before I had any like home.
you
Nintendo
get handheld
console.
because they can, you know,
It shuts your kid up
they
when
have
you're fucking
small
shopping.
hands, yeah.
That's why my mom bought me the Game Boy. She was like, "Here's the fucking Game Boy with Pokemon Yellow." She's like,
Have
"Let me
fun.
shop at Wet Seal for 2 hours." And I'm like, "I don't care. I'm fighting gym leaders. Like I have a world to save."
Yeah. And that's my first question is, do you think this is phasing out the 3DS? Do you think this is the kind of the merge? We're bringing all the 3DS owners who are still clinging on to it, the 7 of you, and we're bringing, I know there are more. I've never,
I have 2.
the first DS
DSs.
the first DS that came out is the only DS I've ever owned. So I am out
I have
of
a 3DS and a 2DS.
I am out of the loop on how many people own a 3DS. My apologies to all 3DS owners, but I don't.
I am the
think
one guy that has 2.
You are one of the 7. But I do you think this is a move to phase out the 3DS and say, okay, we're gonna announce this, we're gonna ditch the support for the 3DS, we're not making any more games for it. Come buy a Switch Lite.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I feel like the DS has kind of gained a cult following with a lot of the different games and just
It is a popular device.
because there's a lot of games on the DS that you cannot bring over to the Switch because it doesn't have dual screen support.
True.
So
That's I guess the one.
that's
thing
a
they have.
whole different ballpark in terms of getting the developers to rewrite the code and redesign the game to basically fit one screen.
Yeah.
Now, do I see them eventually phasing out the 3DS? Yes, but I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about like business or how they
True.
would handle it. Like
If it would make
the 3DS
financial sense to do
the
that.
3DS still to this day, even though the Switch was out for 2 years, it still sells.
Yeah.
You know, like people still buy it for their kids because it's small, it's compact, it's games for it are cheap now. You know, you can go
probably get a bundle for pretty.
yeah,
decently.
you can go drop $150 on a Nintendo 2DS if you don't care about the 3DS features. And there's just a huge library of not just 3DS games, but regular DS games too that it can
That's
play.
true. Yeah.
So we're talking upwards of like 2, 3, 4,000 games, something like that. I don't know the exact number.
For a couple bucks each.
If that,
Yeah.
you know, like shit, dude, you can walk into GameStop right now and probably find like 4 games that.
Which,
your
if you're
fucking
walking
kid
into
would play.
GameStop right now, I mean, hopefully this doesn't come out when GameStop is no longer, because they're kind of struggling. But you know, I get your
I mean,
point.
they're not going to go out of business.
I get your
tomorrow.
point. I get your point. Don't sell them back to GameStop because you get like 10 cents for them.
Well, and they sell it for $1.
But that leads into my second question. Do you think the Switch Lite is more of a good second Switch or a budget beginner Switch?
I think it's a budget beginner
Do
Switch.
you think it's budget beginner?
You can even tell by the design. Look how much more durable all the buttons and everything look.
That's true. Which I hope they
This
are.
thing looks like it could take a fucking beating.
Which that leads into my third question.
Are you interviewing me?
Yes, I am. So the where
You know I don't work for Nintendo, right?
I know,
My
but
dad does.
I'm just giving your opinion, getting your opinion on it. So the thumbstick wear is a problem on Joy-Cons,
Don't get me started.
but the easy solution is that you can just buy a new set of Joy-Cons
Or grips.
or grips,
I
or
bought the grips. They're great.
There are solutions to that where it doesn't affect the middle console of your device. But now it's all together. So what happens when your Switch thumbstick, you go nuts and it just like either breaks or wears or it's not working the way it should, or a button gets broken, you have to replace the whole thing because it's all together.
Not necessarily. They're going to have a warranty period for it.
True.
There's going to be all those like,
Other than,
weird
but I'm
shops.
saying you'd have to get a whole new device instead of just buying another Joy-Con, or hey, this Joy-Con broke. Can I get another one?
Right.
Like that's the whole problem. Because now if anything breaks, you got to get a whole new system.
Yeah,
It's
but
all together.
well, like I said, if you look at from just looking at the build quality, it's smaller and more compact. It honestly, to me, it just looking at it, it looks more durable.
Which I hope
I would
it
be
is.
very like, somebody's going to make a YouTube video that I'm very interested to see, somebody grabbing a regular Switch and then the Switch Lite and just dropping them.
Which, I mean, it is. I'd like
Because
to.
I think this thing is designed with children in mind, for like younger kids to break them into gaming.
Yeah.
To kind of be like,
It's,
hey,
it's probably pretty intense plastic.
Yeah, here's a console for your kid to,
they can play, and if they drop it,
it's
fine.
like a Nokia brick phone.
A regular Switch, if you drop, is probably not the best idea. That'll do some damage. But this one is, if you dropped a Game Boy Advance, it would probably be okay.
I've dropped my Game Boy Advance several times, and the only thing I ever had to do was put tape on the back of it so that way it would
Stay.
close the battery.
I dropped mine.
Then my hands got bigger and I could just hold them.
I dropped mine in a pool, and then I dried it out. It was completely fine. Those things.
Back before rice was a thing.
Before
you could put it in rice.
I just like dried it out.
Rice did not exist.
Dried it out on the counter, and then it worked. But I mean, speaking of past systems, that's into my next point. But it really looks like a Wii U. Like it really looks like a Wii U, but just the Switch Lite to me.
Do you mean the Wii U gamepad?
Yeah, that gamepad.
Yes.
Like obviously not,
because the Wii U was just the Wii U looked like
it did. It did. It looked like a small system, but it like the controller of a Wii U. It looks exactly like that.
Well, I feel like that's where they kind of broke into it, because I remember Michelle had a Wii U and we were at my mom's playing. I was playing Wind Waker, which is a great game. And the best part about it was you just had to hook the thing up and you could still play from the gamepad.
Yeah.
It wasn't as portable. It was portable if you were within range of your home. So I do see the similarities, because I think that's kind of what they based it off of. They were trying to figure out that whole like, hey, can this be done? And now the Wii or the Switch is just selling so much, and they're kind of at that point where they're not selling as many units. So they need this kind of hardware revamp where it's kind of like, hey, instead of introducing a more expensive Switch that probably nobody except for like hardcore Nintendo enthusiasts are going to buy, here's a more affordable entry level Switch that you can buy for your kids. My little cousin saved up money and bought his own Switch for like a birthday present like a month or two back. I honestly think that if he didn't decide to do that then,
at that point,
he would have gone with that. I would have recommended that for him.
Probably.
Because especially when you're looking at, he is 7 and he right now hasn't really played his Switch all that much just because it's nice out. He's going outside and playing. But when he does go in the house and play, he doesn't play docked.
Yeah.
He's playing handheld. Because he wants to be able to be mobile, walk around the house. He wants to sit down and play while he's eating his dinner, or he wants to lay on the couch.
And there are even a minimum of games out now.
His parents aren't going to buy him fucking docks everywhere.
And there are a minimum of games that even like take the 2 Joy-Cons and have you do something else with them other than treat them as a controller.
Well, and you could turn those features off too.
And, and most of the games that do that have.
I hate motion control so much.
I do like 1-2 Switch was interesting just because it's like a party game that it's like shake this Joy-Con because it feels like it's got marbles in it. You got to tell how many marbles.
That was the biggest waste of $60 ever, because I did not realize until I went to get a Switch. I didn't realize that game was a standalone.
You thought it came with it?
I thought it came with it, like how Wii Sports did.
I would have done that if I were them. I would have put that with it because there's no way
it's not worth $60. I sold it back for $40, so I didn't lose too much.
Which I sold it back just in time. I would have pulled a Wii Sports and just put that in there because
I guarantee you,
no one is buying that for $60.
Jamie, can we check the trade value on 1-2 Switch?
I'm Joe Rogan.
Let me see here. Games.
That leads into my next point. I think a Switch Lite should be $150. Honestly,
they'll have a sale.
They will. But
1-2 Switch, you can actually trade it in if a pro member, $17 credit.
I'm really glad I didn't buy that game. I don't have any use for it. I mean, other than like, hey, we have a party and we have like 4 people here who kind of want to play video games, but don't really know how to play video games.
They still sell pre-owned $50 for 1-2 Switch.
That game is for people who suck at Mario Kart, but still want to play.
No, that game is for people that just want to say they own a Switch but don't own any like valuable games. Yeah. There's the only cool game from 1-2 Switch. I remember you take the Joy-Cons and you shake it up and down because you're milking a cow.
Yeah,
That was the only cool thing.
It's like WarioWare or whatever that was.
We don't talk shit about WarioWare.
It's a great game. It's a great game, but I'm saying it's WarioWare, but like dialed down, just for like suburban moms.
Nowhere near WarioWare.
It's not, but it's the same kind of
good suburban mothers that love their children. Play WarioWare.
Get your kids WarioWare. Don't get them 1-2 Switch.
Don't be a shitty parent.
But I think it should be $150, like starting, just because it's like the whole main thing is that you can dock it and you can take the Joy-Cons off and play that way. This way you can't. You can still connect them, but who cares? Like, I'm not going to buy extra Joy-Cons just to make sure that they can do that with this. I'm going to play all my games handheld. So you're taking out a lot of the things that make it a Switch, and it's just like a giant Wii U gamepad or a Game Boy Advance or any other handheld Nintendo's game. It's basically like any other handheld game that's come out Lite. In the last how many years.
It's a Lite, that's the whole point.
Which is why I think you should cut it in half.
We're not going to be the targeted demographic for this. True. This is, like I said, it's an entry level. To be honest,
we are also Switch owners, so we have a little bit of bias.
In terms of pricing, this is actually $200 is a really good price for it.
I know.
Because if you think about it, a 3DS when it launched was $200.
I still think it should be $150, cut it in half.
But then
200 is still a lot.
But for $50 more, you're just basically getting a nicer, newer 3DS.
I guess, which the processor and the battery life makes,
and you can play is significantly better looking games on the Switch than on the 3DS.
Which the battery life and the processor are what is making this. If it was just the same hardware, same battery, this would absolutely should be $150 because nothing is like good or new about it. It's just a Switch, but you can't move the Joy-Cons and it's smaller.
Right, but they got rid of a lot of different features.
They improved the battery and the processor. That to me is standing out. That's, I guess, maybe making up the extra $50.
Yeah, $130 for a new Nintendo 3DS XL.
Okay, but the 3DS came out a couple years ago. It's been a while.
I want to say like 2012 was when the 3DS came out.
The XL came out probably like
2014, 2015.
So it's been 5 years.
Still though.
Yeah. But I'm saying 150 sounds
I don't think $200 is a bad asking point. If this is
aimed for children, I would go $150 because more parents would be like, okay, I can see that. It's not like the Switch. It's because it is not inferior, but it is meant to be Switch Junior.
Right.
So I think,
but it's $100. If you think about it, though, it's $100 less.
I guess. I mean, and $50.
And there are going to be those sales that they're going to have for it too, where they're going to be like, hey, we knock $80 off, so you only pay $120 for it, something like that.
I guess. But we also
this is meant to be an entry level system. Like nobody is going to buy this thing. This would be a different conversation if the original Switch that came out was exclusively just a home console. If there was no portability to it, because then I would definitely be in that demographic of, oh, I can play the exact same games and I can use cloud storage and take it on the go. Absolutely. Yeah. But like I said, this is targeted towards parents essentially. Towards, hey, what can I buy my kid? I can save myself because that $100, I can buy my kid this Switch.
And a game.
It's durable. Yeah. And I could buy a game.
Yeah.
That's true. Then that way my kid.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it should be $150. Just because 200, it still seems like a lot for it.
But that's how much like the 3DS was when it first came out,
I guess.
And like I said,
get Nintendo's trying to get the money back, but I just am really on the it should be $150.
Jamie, can we see how much the Nintendo 3DS was when it first launched?
But
you can still buy a Nintendo 3DS with Fire Emblem Awakening from Walmart for whatever reason, $400.
Jesus, I am not doing that.
Yeah, the 3DS introductory price in the US, and this is not the XL, the small 3DS, though I still have it too.
Yeah.
The introductory price in the US was $250. So if you think about it, they're introducing a Switch Lite, bigger,
200,
better, $50 less,
faster, stronger.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Introductory.
I get it. I guess
the 3DS XL
as a bias.
The 3DS XL dropped the price down to $200 when it first came out, which is still the same price.
I guess. I am biased. I'm a little bitter because, and this is my last point, I'm a little bitter because there's no Switch Pro.
I mean, it's
like they improved the processor, they improved the battery.
Not by much.
30% battery is a lot.
30%
on the Switch
battery, but like for processor, like you're not going to be running these games at 4K.
I know, but
these are still going to run natively at 720p, if that.
I'm saying they put effort into making sure the processor is newer, that the battery is improved, and that this is what people are going to want to buy now. And they said they're not coming out with the Switch Pro. where us that bought a Switch, you bought it when it came out, I bought it
They also
shortly
said
after.
they also said
What
that
are
they
we
weren't
supposed to do?
They also said that they weren't going to give up on the Wii U.
Did they?
Oh, they gave the fuck up
Yeah,
on the Wii U.
They are. That's true.
Because
that's
they
in
launched,
Siberia now.
They launched that thing in 2012, and in 2017, that was like the last time I saw a console life cycle that short was between the original Xbox and the Xbox 360.
Fast,
Yeah. And a majority of the games on the Wii U are now on the Switch because there were a ton of amazing games on the Wii U that nobody fucking played.
Yeah, that's
at
true.
all.
It's a good point.
So
I mean, I just want a Switch Pro. Make it better.
just
Make it faster.
hack your Switch.
I
put in a
know,
faster
I'm
processor,
not
put more
that
memory in it.
technically sound to be able to
YouTube.
do that.
Somebody probably already made a Switch Pro.
Maybe,
that is
but
super out
spend
of
time
warranty.
improving something for someone who's had a Switch for a while and it like wants it to get better. Not to give me some cheap version for kids that's yellow just so they could have their attention.
I just want
taken care of
GameCube
for a little
games
bit.
on my Switch.
I agree. I mean, I'm happy with any of the Switch. I'm not mad I bought the Switch. That's zero regrets for that. But I mean, I want this to succeed. I think it's going to. It's just a little annoying that they cater to the cheap and the kids instead of catering to us professional gamers.
Professional.
Us hardcore gamers.
Yeah, super hardcore.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the Switch Lite. I'm probably gonna. There's a Pokemon version that I might want to get. Just
So that one I
just
like.
because it looks pretty cool.
That one I like.
I could be swayed to go get it, but I don't know. $200 is pretty steep when I already have something that works just fine.
Can you give me a beer, babe? Sorry,
we
my
gotta
girlfriend's
stock.
just
We
like,
gotta stock up on beer again.
she's like just slowly tiptoeing around us. She typed in one of those things. She's like, "You've been podcasting forever." I was like, "We actually just started recording like maybe 15 minutes ago."
For like 27 minutes.
Yeah.
We've just been talking about.
Is that
random
how long
stuff.
it's been? It's 27 minutes.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about
good.
Call of Duty, go ahead.
I love Call of Duty.
There you go.
I do.
And
They're
that's our
doing
Call
a
of Duty segment.
Do you want to do that for your birthday? Watch that multiplayer reveal together?
Sure, I'm fine. So they're gonna apparently reveal something on August 1st, right?
They already had like a little bit of a multiplayer reveal. They have this new gunfight mode. So essentially, gunfight it's a 2v2, and well, here's from Charlie Intel's site. During a Twitch stream today, this was yesterday, popular content creators revealed a first look at the brand new gunfight mode coming to Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer. Back in late May, during our trip to Infinity Ward, we had a chance to see and also play. So the exact details of gunfight: 2v2 feature specially designed maps for this mode only. 3 maps have been shown. So there's King, which is the interior of a warehouse; Pine, which is a dense forest, sounds like jungle;
Yeah.
and then Stack, which is a desert container yard, which sounds like a mix of Rust and Shipment.
Okay, I'd be down for that.
There is no creative class in the gunfight mode. The loadouts are set for each player, and the loadouts that players play with change every 2 rounds. There's 6
that
rounds
sounds cool.
total. When the match starts, the timer gives you 40 seconds to win the round. If after 40 seconds there is no winner, a flag appears on the map. Players then have to run to the flag and defend it for 3 seconds to secure the win. If no one can defend the flag within the new time limit, the round will end and the team with the most total health wins.
Okay.
Now, with the health, there's 100 health per player combined for 200 health between the 2 players.
It sounds interesting, I guess.
Do not heal in this mode, and auto health regeneration is disabled.
Okay.
The top of the screen shows the combined health per team, allowing you to see how much damage you have done and how much health your team has.
That sounds pretty competitively balanced.
It's a
I
very
would say.
close quarters type. Like
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of the stream and I was like, this seems like something I would get super into
Yeah.
and I would enjoy. But
It
then
sounds-
I would inevitably just go back to domination.
Well, yeah, it sounds like a nice competitive mode that you can just like, I'm gonna, I have a buddy that we can just play together and see what we can do. But I mean, I like the whole randomness of you don't just get to pick the best gun in the game. You don't get to.
It's like gun game.
You don't get to just like hide and regenerate your health. You have 100 health. If you die, you die. Like that's it.
The thing that I'm kind of most excited for too is the fact that they were kind of saying that Charlie Intel was at least saying that they were kind of speculating that this was going to be, people were speculating this is going to be similar to like Modern Warfare 1, 2, or 3. And they straight up were like, yeah, we didn't report on any of those rumors because that's all they were was rumors. Like we tried to tell you guys, this is a radical departure for the series.
Which it sounds like we've played
When you
every
watch
Call of Duty for the last how many years? That
when you
doesn't
watch
sound like anything we've played.
When you
before.
watch the gameplay, like it looks a little different. The hit detection's kind of
It sounds like it's its
weird.
own game.
it's basically a soft reboot of the Modern Warfare series.
Yeah.
So think basically what COD 4 was for the series.
Yeah,
You know,
but they didn't have anything like this. I'm interested.
wanna play it.
They gotta make something new. So they can't, keep doing the same thing, because I've seen that their sales numbers just go down every single year that they come out with a Call of Duty game. And, they haven't had a spike up since maybe Black Ops 1.
Well, that's why they got to sell all that bullshit that nobody wants to buy.
That's why they got
except for crackheads.
I think
The
Call of
people
Duty
that are
goes
addicted.
like free to play at some point.
Which I would be down for. I do want to play Call of Duty Mobile. I tried to get that beta, but it's
No.
only in Australia, and I was not trying to set up an Australian Apple ID.
I'm
Because I
ex-
already had one for Pocket Camp, and I can't remember it.
I'm excited for Modern Warfare. I've given Call of Duty a lot of last chances. World War II was one of them, and they came through.
Black Ops 4 was good.
Black Ops 4 was good, but
I felt like that was the first time in a few years that we got back-to-back, like, good Call of Duties.
Yes.
Not great, but
Which-
good.
for me, 3 is a pattern. So if this one's pretty good, I'll keep going. If it's not, if they fuck with Call of Duty 4, because that's what we grew up on, that is our shit. If they fuck with that, I don't know if I'll trust them again. Okay,
You will.
probably
Because there were people,
I'm just
when
a
Modern
sucker for
Warfare
this stuff. Give it to me.
when Modern Warfare 2 came out, we all bitched.
Yeah.
I remember I bitched about Modern Warfare 2. I was like, this game fucking blows. This isn't COD 4. I fucking hate it. 10 years later, I'm still playing Call of Duty, and now I think Modern Warfare 2 is like one of the top 10
I
or
hate
top
Modern
5
Warfare 2.
best.
Modern Warfare 2 bugs me.
Modern Warfare 3 bugs me, and Black Ops 3 bugs me.
True.
Anything with 3 in it bugs the shit out of me.
Everything
I fucking
3,
hated Modern Warfare 3. I fucking hated Black Ops 3.
I guess that's fair.
But 2 was good.
2 was okay. I guess I just got
And
frustrated
4
because
is
I was
good
no
too.
good at it.
That's because
Everybody was a lot better than me. I didn't no scope. I didn't do any of that shit.
Should have played more.
I should have played more, but I was good at Modern Warfare 1, but not good at any of the following ones. And I'm okay at Call of Duty. It's just I don't like no scoping and all that 360 no scope and all that other shit.
And this one is kind of looking like it's going back to the boots to the ground, which I'm excited for.
Which
I
I think
like that.
a reboot scares people. It's like, oh god, you're just gonna like mess this up, and you're gonna have loot boxes, and you're gonna have all this other crap. But they could make it pretty nice. Like they've listened to what people want, and they've had tons of complaints about what people don't want. So it's easy to know what to avoid and what to.
Here's an incentive to pre-order on PlayStation, though. If you pre-order Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you get the Captain Price character to use in Black Ops 4 in Blackout.
I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really don't
Yeah.
need that. But that's cool, I guess.
No, but I'm excited for
it's
the
nice that
multiplayer
they're
reveal.
acknowledging the last one exists.
Right. I'm excited for the multiplayer reveal
Me too.
because like
And the story,
that's
because
the,
the story
that's the
was
whole
pretty
reason.
good.
Well, yeah, and they said it was going to be like a super gritty story. They're going to be looking to do a combination of like how you see it through the eyes of like a military personnel, but also how you see it through the eyes of people like in the Middle East too.
Which makes sense.
So
Other than
Which I'm kind of
the same, okay, we're doing this mission. I'm turning on you. Actually, you're dead.
I'm
And
kind of
then-
excited for to see like how
Start
gritty
doing it.
that story is going to be. Like if they're going to be controversial again, because I remember when Modern Warfare 2 came out. Like, granted, we were young, we were high schoolers, and the No Russian mission was definitely one of those things where it's like, whoa, this is fucking.
Yeah.
But it was like when
pretty
you-
intense.
Even still to this day, when I go back and play through that campaign and I go through that mission, it's like it hits.
It's
deep.
intense. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I want stuff like that where it's,
a thinker.
good. It's
Yeah.
good storytelling and it makes you feel.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
just sick of the old. Okay, well, you're this guy, and then eventually this guy turns on you, and you die, and then you play as
Yeah.
another guy and finish the thing.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it's a
That
soft
happens
reboot, but
way too many times.
I always get excited every year for just the Call of Duty
It is.
series.
And
the multiplayer is always fun to me. Like even the games that I hated, like I hated Black Ops 3, but like I still had some fun moments with it because I'm like, that's still kind of Call of Duty.
I am at the level where I'm a sucker for anything where I can. My parents have been, or my dad mostly has been a World War II buff and like an army guy, where he's like he loves guns and he loves warfare and stuff. So that growing up with that, I just love the concept of having a military rank, but not being in the military.
Yeah,
So it's like I'm becoming a sergeant or I'm becoming a captain. And I get to see the.
do you even
insignia
know that
on
I'm a
me.
general level 55, bro? What is your fucking KD?
I know, but like
Sit down.
it's weird to me, but that I love that having I'm a lieutenant now and like ranking up just by doing stuff. I like that. So
Prestiging I like
starting
too
over.
because I love just fucking losing everything and starting all over again.
I don't like
say
that.
I say that so condescendingly, but I fucking love
Yeah, I love proving that I'm better than everybody by having to start over
I
where everyone
love
else
losing
starts.
all of it. Takes,
But I'm better.
on average, for me at least, it takes for one prestige takes me anywhere from 18 to 22 hours.
Yeah.
So I could sit in a full day and crank out some multiplayer
Mhm.
and prestige.
Yeah. I'm not that good.
And
It would take me,
everything
like,
that
2
I
years.
worked for is just gone
It's
with the
gone,
press of
yeah.
a button.
But you get a new picture.
And I do it every time. I
They
don't
got us.
stop because
They
I
got us,
reach
yeah.
55 or whatever they cap it at, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll prestige. And then prestige, I'm like, this fucking sucks. Like, I don't have my guns. I'm ass. And then I get back all my guns. I'm like, all right, cool. Everything's back to normal.
the
I hit
unlock
that level
tokens
cap
are
again, and I'm like, I'm gonna hit this
Here we
button
go again.
This
Oh
button's-
shit! Here we go again.
This button's getting hit again.
Yeah.
And I do that 10 times
Yeah.
every time.
So basically, in summation, Call of Duty is going to whip its dick out, and we're going to buy it anyway. It's just what we do.
I mean, it's $60.
It could be bad, but
could be more money.
we're still going to buy it. We're suckers for this
I
stuff.
will buy if they have a $200 edition of it.
You will
But
not.
I want it to come with a life-sized cardboard cutout of Captain Price.
I would buy that.
And I
actually.
want it with a microphone that like
It just-
yells at me.
it's
where
just
it's like-
him voice.
Every time my girlfriend asks me like to clean the bathtub and like I don't clean it to her standards, I can just press him and he goes, "Oh shit, we got our asses kicked."
Yeah, that's Gaz, but okay.
No, that was
That was
Price.
Gaz.
Was it?
Definitely that was Gaz.
What does Captain Price say?
Captain Price is like the old. He doesn't talk in multiplayer because it's Gaz. I swear, I know I'm right on this.
I'm almost positive that Captain
It's nope, it's Gaz. Gaz talks in
Are you
multiplayer.
sure?
Yep.
We failed the mission. We'll get him next time.
Yeah, that's Gaz.
No.
Yeah. That is absolutely Gaz.
Where are your sources?
Pull up.
Jamie, can we figure out who yells at
I
you
am
in
not
multiplayer?
Joe Rogan, but I know for a fact that's Gaz. It's Gaz. You don't remember what Gaz sounds like? That's Gaz. Now look up Gaz.
The comments say "Rest in peace, Gaz."
I'm telling you, it's Gaz.
I thought it was Captain Price.
No. See, I'm right. I'm gonna cut this whole middle section, and then it's just gonna be he goes into this, and then he just knows I'm right after like 2 seconds.
no, you gotta.
I'm not. I'm gonna keep this whole thing, but I was right for the
Okay,
record.
fine. Well, then I like Gaz.
Yeah,
I
Gaz.
would,
Gaz
then
is
that's what I
cool.
want. I want
Gaz
a
is the
cardboard
guy with
cutout
the
of Gaz.
shotgun who's like, I just keep this for close school.
He's the one that had like the mohawk, right?
That's Soap.
Oh my fucking fuck,
Dude,
dude!
have
Who are
you
these?
played Call of Duty?
Just the multiplayer. I don't play the campaign.
You should try
apparently.
it. Call of Duty's a
I-
pretty good
It
game.
sounds like it's pretty fucking sweet. So,
So
in
we know-
summation,
so
I don't know shit.
We know nothing about Call of Duty, but we're gonna pick it up because it sounds interesting. We'll have to try this Call
man.
of Duty.
Hey man, I've lost the battle, but not the war.
But I think we're going to end it for today. We're going to end with this segment, which we might start the next podcast with this segment. But what are you playing right now, Omar?
I don't know how to answer that.
Just what games are you playing right now?
I,
Currently, what is queued up on your Xbox? Okay, well,
I
then-
do. I really.
Then I will go.
I have
I-
a huge backlog.
Okay, we have huge backlogs, but we're gonna have a segment on this where we just describe what we're playing and how fun it is. I am playing Dragon Age 2 because not again.
Again.
I played Dragon Age 1 and then finished Dragon Age 1.
Have
and
you ever
now
played
I'm on
Dragon Age 2 before?
Absolutely.
So then you're playing it
Fine.
again.
I'm playing Dragon Age 2 again because it came out in like 2010 or 11, and I'm playing it.
Jamie, can we figure out the date that Dragon Age 2 came out?
I am playing Dragon Age 2 because I love BioWare games and the story and the characters. Like your choices
Came out in
matter.
2011.
2011.
Congrats, you were wrong.
And I probably played it in like 2013. Doesn't matter.
Congrats, you
But
were wrong.
I'm playing it again because backwards compatibility is screwing my life because I have a giant backlog.
See,
and I
that makes
still
it
have the
even
discs.
worse. Is like the backwards compatibility. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know.
So I'm playing Dragon Age 2. I love it. Go check it out. Go buy a cheap copy. Dragon Age Origins is better. Go play it.
I started like picking up my Switch again because I was just going through the Game Pass games and I was like, I don't want to fucking play any of these right now. I thought about replaying Borderlands 2.
Amar's not playing anything right now.
I mean, I'm kind
We'll
of.
have a better segment next time.
I'm like that dude that's in between jobs, but I'm in between games right
Yeah,
now.
Which I know the
If I'm
feeling,
not
but
playing,
I
like,
picked one.
I'm either playing Final Fantasy 12 on the Switch, or I'm playing Pokemon on the Switch,
Okay, do this.
or I'm playing Goat Simulator on my Xbox.
What's the next game you're looking forward to getting?
Fire Emblem.
When's that come out?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
Mine is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
That's a week from now.
That is a week from now. I'm going to get sworn in as a lawyer on the 17th, and then I'm going to grab Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the 19th and just go.
Then
to
you will actually be board
town.
certified.
Then I will actually be board certified.
So this is just a lie in the
But I
beginning.
am bored, as in BORED certified. And that on that note, we're going to end this podcast today. I'm Andy. That's Amar. Say, say hello.
Hello.
We hope you guys
Or do I
enjoyed
say
this.
goodbye?
You say goodbye now.
So I can start it with hello and then end it with goodbye.
We'll see you guys next time. This is, again, the first
Will
podcast.
there be a next time?
There will be a next time. This is the first podcast we've ever done. It might just
roast Andy on Twitter.
please tell your friends, show them.
Just roast
if you
him in
don't
his
have
chin.
friends, that's okay. Neither do we. We're each other's friends.
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking about video games for about 45
Yeah,
minutes,
coworkers
so-
invited me to the bar, and I said I was going to go, and then they all couldn't make it suddenly. I'm like, all right, it's fine, guys. No big deal.
But we'll see you guys next time. Tell your friends, share, like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. Or don't. I'm not your dad. So go ahead.
It's not my channel, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But we'll see you guys
I still have a
later.
job.
Have a good one.
Peace.